Okay, so first of all, I'm going to apologize to those of you who are tuning in now. If you hear any background noise, that's my production printers that are going at full speed trying to get orders. Tonight, for those of you who watch the replay, I'm going to be actually showcasing two new products that are about to launch on the Big Blaster Consortium. Actually, one of them just launched last night. I'm going to be actually showcasing two. Whoa, hello. Feedback. Anyways, so I'm going to be showcasing two new products that are going to launch. One of them launched last night. It's already on sale and it's about $10. Actually, both of them are going to be $10. For those who follow Milo's mods, you saw him do a review on it, but I'm actually going to discuss it now as well. And we're going to be talking about the Volcanic. Now, the Volcanic by Dart Zone, when they launched this thing last year, um, they obviously launched it with a spring set with a heavy prime, and that's one of those things that it was. It's a good blaster. Meaning, I'm not gonna lie, it's a good blaster, but it does have a beefy prime, even with the stock spring. It's something that could have used a T pool. And I know that Luchathor over at Out of Darts, God bless him, he designed one. However, Out of Darts only sells one that is in what I like to call Karen compliant orange. And that's fine for them. That's okay. But there were a couple people out there that were like, hey, can we actually do something in different colors? Enter the Big Blaster Consortium. And in my case, I am not as picky about color schemes as Luke and company over at Out of Darts. So I designed this for myself, and I was like, you know what? Let's do this. I also saw Luchathor's design. There were a couple things that I was not fond of. Nothing against him, nothing against anything that Out of Darts makes actually, but for people with larger hands, we want a larger priming handle. And some of the people who had approached me about this said, "Hey, Norm, we don't know if theirs is designed to withstand the heavy spring load." So I frankly do not know. I've never ordered one. I didn't have a reason. I actually was not going to pick up this blaster at first. I ended up picking up this blaster because Milo's mods had actually reached out to me and was like, "Hey, I kind of want a priming handle for this thing for the heavier priming, the heavier spring, and I trust your printing quality that it's not going to break. Can you design something?" And I was like, well, I mean, I wasn't intending on picking up the blaster because, holidays, holiday spending. And next thing you know, this thing shows up. So it shows up at my doorstep and with a little instruction that says, get to designing. And I'm like, all right, we'll do it, Sandman. Let's do it. So I got to design it, and I actually reached out to a good friend of mine, Adam Fowler, in the community, who I know that he has a similar printer to mine, to my prototyping printer. I was like, hey, I designed something. All of my production printers are right now um, pretty much going into overdrive because of fulfilling holiday orders, and I need some help when it comes to product testing. So again, special thank you for Adam for helping me out, and I will be sending you the finalized file, so you can actually print one for yourself. My way of saying thank you so much for assisting. The files are not available for sale, unfortunately. It's just physical prints right now. I am going to even still be doing some final tweaks based on my revision, but those are just going to be more of a cosmetic, not a functionality thing. But let's talk about the priming handle. So reality is that getting this on, once you actually buy one of these, it's super simple. So there's actually just two screws here that this is all you're going to do. You're going to take off all the screws on your original priming handle. It has like 5 or 6 screws. So you take those out, and you're only going to recycle the front two that go into this little piece right here. Now, I will be sending you this entire part assembled. It is all one solid piece when you get it. So you actually, well, there's two parts. I'm sorry, I lied. There's a little pin. So you're going to slide this handle on here, though I do highly recommend lubricating the actual blaster itself or the priming handle, one of the two, because if you don't, you're going to run into the issue that I ran when I came to testing, and that is that 3D printed plastic on the injection molded, it kind of catches on each other. So just lubricate it, and that actually solves the issue. So you can actually slide this on. There's going to be some resistance when this part comes in to the little, I guess the screw holes are. You close that in, and then you're going to insert the pin back here. Now, this pin is designed to be a friction fit. It is a very tight fit. Once it goes in there, it is not falling out. So you're going to want to actually use a hammer. Now, I will let you know that I've used a hammer and I just hold it with my thumb and my forefinger. You hold it in place and you just start tapping. And then once it goes in, you just start tapping with more pressure with a hammer, and it's fine. It's kind of like for those of you who've ever done a ladle build before, how you actually have to put some of his pins in due to print tolerances. It's kind of like that. These are going to be printed pretty much all solid, so there's no infill. It is just nothing but perimeter wall plastic. The priming handle, the T-pull right here, this is actually printed out with 12 walls, so it's 4 times industry standard. For those of you who don't know what I mean, generally speaking, when you actually print a blaster, most people tell you use a minimum of 3 walls for parts that are not under a lot of pressure. Um, this is something that most people would use like 5 walls on, generally speaking. But I did it with 12 because this is designed to take a heavy spring load, so it's going to be taking a lot of tension. Now, the rest of this actually uses 6 walls. And these walls are these like actual walls are thin enough that by doing 6 loops per perimeter, it's pretty much solid plastic. So it is a pretty solid piece. This is going to take an impact. It also does have an integrated iron sight back here. So I added that just that way you can actually still use an iron sight. I was contemplating adding a Picatinny rail up here. However, given that this goes backward and forth, I didn't see a reason to add that. So I just did a little triangular design up here as well. And all in all, it looks really nice. Now, one thing that I discovered from talking with a buddy in the community, and again, kudos to him because he actually inspired me to test this. Chris Cartea, thank you so much because I know that Chris Cartea likes to dual wield, and this is the kind of thing that he would dual wield in a battle without a problem. So dual wielding it, and I tested with the Cronus that has a similar design here. You are able to literally link these up, and you pull down, and you can prime both of them. So you can technically prime this by hooking another one if you have 2 of the volcanics and just letting go. You don't actually let go. You actually have to prime it, and then you can just put them up against your chest to close it, and you're ready to fire. So if that's something that interests you and you want to do dual wielding, you can actually use this to dual wield easily and not have to drop a blaster or lower a blaster down in order to prime it. So that's kind of cool. Now, the other thing about this design is that it does utilize an M5 bolt back here. This bolt actually holds down the priming handle to the actual, I should say, the T-pool to the actual priming grip itself. And there is a nut there as well. That's the only bit of hardware that I utilized. It also acts as a brace for tension when you actually pull back. So you're not just pulling back plastic on plastic, causing it to rip. No, there's actually a bolt that is hidden in here, and a nut that's hidden in here that literally pulls back on the bolt. So the bolt takes some of the priming weight off of it, which is an added bonus. Now, one thing that I will point out that some people are going to notice at first is they're going to say, okay, well, it looks like the T-pool is a little bit off-centered. That is a design choice, and let me explain why. Not everyone's hands are designed the same way, and generally speaking, this is more aimed for people who want to prime with their left hand, because usually when you use your left hand, your thicker finger is the index finger, and then you have the middle fingers here to the side, so you can literally pull like that, and that's more of a comfortable grip. Conversely, if you're a right-handed prime, that's fine as well. You actually have the same thing here. So it is, again, slightly off-centered. That is intentional, I promise you. So when you look at it, at first you're going to be like, okay, wait a minute, it's off-centered to the iron sight. That's on purpose. So there you have it. Now, the cool part about this one is it does offer personalization options as well and customization. So this right here is a gray, it's inland gray, and it does pretty closely match the gray on the blaster. Of course, if you did want it in orange, we can go ahead and do that as well. Adam actually printed it out in purple, and it looks really good with this blaster. So if you wanted me to do this in purple, I do have access to purple as well. And if you want to do it for some reason in yellow, I can do it as that as well. I don't have dark zone green because that's a really interesting green shade. It's hard to find. But I do have a neon green that I used for the vector kit, so who knows? Um, and then the natural color technically kind of matches this handle, but I don't know. I mean, customer's always right in matters of taste. It's up to you if you want to look weird. So, all right. Anyways, so that is the volcanic T-coil priming handle. Again, this is $10. The turnaround time on this, as long as my production printers are available, I can pump this out literally within like 7 hours, and it's done. So, I'd say the turnaround time roughly is about 24 hours because I still need to actually epoxy this together so you don't have to worry about it twisting. This one, for example, I did not epoxy. This is my prototype. So even though it won't twist off, you can actually move the priming handle and rotate it. So if I wanted to prime like this, that's fine. Of course, that does block the actual um, iron sight. So but yeah, that will not be a feature on the regular one. This is the original prototype where that happened. This will be epoxied in and using Loctite so that the nut doesn't rotate itself. So there you have it. But that is it. Again, $10. I think that's a fair price because again, you have the customization option. Of course, there you have Normatico right here. You can actually use up to 10 characters, and we can fit your name on here. So there you have it. Now, the next thing, and this is going to be the one that a lot of people are excited for. I actually sent the prototype out to Gims Mods. This is actually the secondary prototype, and I hope the final version. He's going to be receiving his on Saturday. We just had to do one more adjustment of fit. And this is the S400 Talon Magwell developed by myself. Now, I want to say that ZWQ did an awesome thing. They released the CAD files for the blaster. That allowed me to make this. So this is actually all printed out one solid piece. I was able to CAD out the design for the Magwell by looking at the design that they had, and then of course seeing the one that Gibbs Mods had already purchased because it basically matches the same geometry on the outside. The inside is what is different. That I took the geometry of a Talon, basically a Talon Magwell, a 3D printed one, an adapter, and I suited it to fit inside of this block. So it is a pretty solid piece. I think this is like going to be done in 5 walls, and it is basically three 3D printed pieces. I have to go with an actual plastic pin here just to keep costs low. That's going to allow me to keep this at right around $10 to print. And a lot of that is because of the time it takes to print this, and the filament cost is negligible in my opinion. So it is a time thing that this pumps out in anywhere between 7 to 8 hours, and then it's roughly about $3 in filament. So there's also some hardware because it does use a simple spring, and I had to source those springs. But it does hold pretty much any. Let me grab a magazine here so I can show off. It does hold pretty much any magazine. I've tested with Tachi's. I've tested with Adventure Force. I've tested with Worker and Siren. I do not have any Dragon Claw magazines. However, I believe that Gims Mods tested with those as well. And yeah, I mean, it just works, which is kind of nice. So let's go and actually show off here. This is the Banana Magazine, which is what you want to use for a bullpup blaster anyways, because they look better. So literally that holds in and like that, and that gravity drops. So we have the Blink Magazine, which takes 22. And that gravity drops. Whoa, hello. Okay. So actually, you know what? I'm gonna message Xavier and let him know that if he's willing to promote this, I'll send him. So, and then again, this is the Adventure Force ones, and Another Adventure Force one. This is actually one of the ones that you buy that are 15 rounds as opposed to the 12 round ones. This one does not gravity drop. This magazine in particular has a weird thing going on. It is different than any of the other Adventure Force mags. So the other ones do gravity drop. The 15 rounders, the orange ones do. For some reason, that purple one is special. I guess it licks the walls. I don't know. Tachi mag. So, you know, and gravity drop. Does it take a 70 round super drum? I don't know. I wouldn't trust it because those things are freaking heavy. So there you go. But there you have it. This is the Magwell. This will be about $10 as well. I expect that I should be going live with this one either Saturday or Sunday. Once Gims confirms that the one issue I had, which was with this little peg hole, that it fits properly with that final pin, it's going live. So the reason it's not going live right now is because, excuse me, when I got the measurement, it was off by just a smidge, and I don't want you to have to actually shave the product in order to get that pin in here. So I want to make sure that that is perfect. Again, I'm not fortunate enough to actually have the blaster. This is being designed it's being designed blindly. It works on the 3D printed one, but there's a fine difference between 3D printing and injection molded, and I'm designing for injection molded. So there we have it. So we got Dex. Yep. So yeah, I might reach out to Xavier on YouTube. Actually, that's the only way that I know him is on YouTube. I don't know. I don't have information way to contact him anywhere else. But I'll reach out to him, let him know, hey, I am finalizing testing and going from there. So you all can expect this to be done, hopefully by Sunday. We should be going live with this or Saturday at the latest. But I'm excited for this one. Again, I know $10 people might balk after spending 130 or 140, whatever they're spending on the glass. I don't even know how much it costs anymore. I've heard different numbers from different places. But for a $10 quality of life improvement, I think that's okay, especially if that's going to save you on the back end having to buy the ZWQ mags or the annoyance of having to backward load your magazine. It's kind of funny because I noticed and I try to comment when people comment on videos that are promoting my stuff. Somebody mentioned that oh, this we have a the ZWQ mags are better, and the placement of the mag release is better for you. It's a matter of taste. Okay, if you want to have a mag lever that is in the front, which is completely different than any other blaster design out there, yes, that's fine. And I'm not going to downplay ZWQ mags because ZWQ, in my opinion, if they were more well known and they would have actually come to market first, we would all be using ZWQ geometry as opposed to Talon. However, that said, Talon geometry it fits 90% of the blasters out there, and I'm not sure about any of you out there. I have 30 Talon magazines, roughly, if not more. I've lost track. I have 21 angled Talons, for God's sakes. So yeah, no, I have more than 30 magazines. Uh, that being said, um, I I don't have to spend a whole bunch of money on magazines. I want to be able to reuse the same magazines over and over and over again. So there's that. If I had and this is where I'm gonna have to say that my skill set's kind of limited here. If I had the wherewithal and the knowledge, and I knew that people still used the pack mags or the katana geometry, I would have made it so they could fit both. But again, Talon's what people were asking for. Talon's what the majority of people use. Talon's what it is designed for. May revisit this later on and make it so that you can actually use either or. I may go ahead and do that in the future, but for now, this is what we're getting. So there you have it. I'm actually going to be looking into that Dex to see if I can get his email, and I'll shoot him the email message and let him know, be like, hey, shoot me your address or your PO box. I'm going to send you one of these out. Because again, I've actually had the benefit, even though he probably doesn't remember, of meeting Xavier over at Maryland Mayhem, and he's actually done work in the past with France Foamworks. So, seeing as I'm the spiritual successor to them, I got to establish that relationship better. So, there you have it. Plus, he's just a cool guy. I like Xavier. His is one of the few channels that I actually watch still, because whenever I need to see the internals of a blaster, he's the one that I go to. So there you have it. So that's pretty much it right now of what's launching. Now, what is in development, I should say. And once I actually print one out, I'll show it. It's actually already been completed. This is one that is going to be more for the competitive nerfer. We have actually my designer in Australia, NXT Armories. He sent me files for something, and I'm kind of excited about this because I carry a bunch of mags on me when I am out doing club play, uh, to the point where my loadout vest is overburdened because when I tell you I have 21 angled Talon magazines, I carry 21 angled Talon magazines on different parts of my chest. I don't have one of the SKRD or scared, however the hell you pronounce it, like belt loadouts, but I do have a tactical belt. And my tactical belt, again, if I had this product last year, I would have been chef's kiss. Because in one location of my tactical belt, what would take up one horizontal space for a magazine, I now have the ability to fit up to 11 magazines in a dump pouch or mag case, I should say, a hard shell case where literally you would reach out towards the bottom, pull out the magazine, and then all the magazines would gravity drop down. And then when you're done with the magazine, you literally are able to slide it up top, and there you go. So it acts not only as a extra mag storage area, but you also have a dump pouch as well. So in one container, which again it is going to be a pricey item because of the amount of film it's going to take, you are able to hold 165 rounds if you have an 18 round magazine. So, or sorry, if you have 15 round magazines. If you have 18 rounders, you're looking at, uh, I don't know, math is hard. 10 times 18 is 180. So we're looking at what, 198 rounds in a case, in a plastic piece. So there you have it. What do we got here? Oh, okay. So, oh, hey, what's going on, Bill? So yeah, so there's actually a couple of options for these cases. There's one that actually holds 11. There's one that holds 6. So we're looking at pricing on this. Again, from what I'm able to see, based on the design that I saw, it takes about half a roll of filament just for the smaller version, and for the larger version, it takes about 3/4 of a roll of filament. So it's going to be a pricey item. That's, I'm not going to lie. It's the large one takes about 14 hours just to print the case, not to mention the other parts that have to go attached to it. So, this might be something that for people who utilize it might end up costing anywhere close to between 45 to $50. Um, but I think that the convenience factor and the rapid pull out of the magazines and just having a storage spot to put expended magazines as well, that might be beneficial. And the way that it was designed is that you put it to your tactical belt, and you could literally hang it from your backside. So you can literally just keep it right here and just pull out a magazine, ready to go, slap it back, pull it out, ready to go, and just do that repeated motion. So that's kind of cool. The weight on this, it's pretty much hollow. So the 3MF design, it's about 5 walls. It takes about 700 grams of filament total. That's less than 2 pounds is what it weighs. Now that's just for the box. Once you actually add the magazines, that's going to be it. But again, it's supported through your tactical belt, so you're going to be hanging it behind you, and it's not made to be an add-on for all of your for, I should say, for your entire vest. It's made so that you can keep, instead of having a bridge of magazines across, you have 11 in that spot, and they're just there. So um, I am going to be, once I catch up with the orders that I have for from the holidays, still going to be printing one of these out. Um, Speaking of which, if you're watching and you ordered something for the Big Blaster Consortium, please know that I've been forced to upgrade my print shop. Thank you for all the orders. I now have two of my high-speed production printers. My Old Faithful right now is literally just a prototype printer right now because the quality on that one is not as good as the production printers that I've been utilizing. So I'm able to keep up with the orders a lot faster now. Whereas before, it would take me about a day and a half to complete a barrel shroud. The full process from printing to assembly. I'm able to cut that down now to literally just within 15 hours, and that's the full printing time. And then obviously the assembly takes about 10 minutes, and then I have to wait for it to set. So that's fantastic. Having the two printers allows me to actually print out two barrel shrouds at the same time as opposed to having to wait for one. Though technically I could print out four at the same time because two fit on one print bed. So that's kind of awesome. Um, I was running into the issue where if somebody ordered a Strife kit, which takes almost 2.5 days to print on one printer, I had my production down because, again, the one production quality printer that I had, because I'm emphasizing quality over quantity, um, it just got bogged down. And if I had somebody that ordered three custom shrouds with different color schemes, I only had the one AMS unit that was of higher quality compared to wherever that one is there. Which again, it's a quality AMS system. I'm not going to diss Bamboo Labs, but the leap in quality from my A1 to the P series is significant. So there we have it. Now I do see that there's a lot of people watching. There's four. Go ahead and feel free to say hi in the chat. Um, the other thing that I'm going to be developing that's already technically developed is have to print it. I am going to be working on something for this bad boy right here. Now I know there's been a lot of mods made for the boxer, but what I have not seen yet, and I was asked, hey, this would be kind of cool if we could do, and I'm going to do it is that I'm going to devise the ink strike kit and separate buttstock here as well, so that yeah, some people like the parrot stock. I'm not a fan of it. I feel like it could use something better, so we're going to do that. I may also do something with this front end because why not? People like goofy stuff. But other than that, I'm actually really fond of this blaster. I haven't done my review on this one yet. I literally unboxed it, slapped the LiPo battery in it, and I have not touched it since. I've been so busy with other stuff. So we'll see what I can come up with for the Boxer Pro. So there you have it. That's pretty much it for the live stream. Again, it's a short live stream. It's just a product feature. I like to give people updates regarding what's going on with the consortium. And there you have it. If you have any questions, please leave it in the chat. If you have any product requests or you're like, hey, Norm, can you design something like this? Or what can we do with this? Let me know. I am always willing to take requests. And if I can do it, I'm going to do it. This is something that I do more as a hobby and as a passion. I did get a couple of cool things done with Lidl's designs that, yeah, here's hoping that he lets me, or he says he gives me the go ahead to launch some of these things. Not for a profit. This is just more for a fun thing. The one that I'm actually the most fond of was my auto return for the Hush. So literally, instead of having to push the priming handle back in, you just pull it back, let it go, and it just snaps back in place using another elastic band. So that's kind of cool. But yeah, that's pretty much it. That was all I had for tonight, guys. Not a lot of people watched, but hopefully they'll catch it on the replay. I do look forward to actually getting some orders regarding this T handle. And if you have any design requests for it, let me know. Let's see. Oh, the Calypso. I'm glad you're liking it. It's kind of funny that there have been two Calypsos that I've sent out to people that have compared it with the ones that they got from a different store. Again, I need to stress this is something that I only charged the filament for. I did not make a profit on it because, again, I have ethics, and I literally sent one out to Bill Cyclops, were in the chat, and he was able to run his against three other Calypsos that they had gotten theirs from different vendors, and he can tell you whether or not it outperformed and outshined and um, outlasted, I guess, the other ones. And then the other one was Gims Mods. Gims Mods actually had gotten his from out of darts, and I don't know what they did when they assembled it. They definitely used the hardware version with the O rings. I don't know if they just didn't tighten the main power string or not, uh, but it was not getting the numbers that I know the Calypso can get, or what Out of Darts was promoting either on their store. Um, Gibbs Bonds gave his away. I believe that one went over to CR Nerf, and I told Gibbs, I was like, "Hey, listen, I got you. I'm printing you out one in your color scheme, and my only request is that you don't give this one away. I'm really proud of the way this one's coming out." So I sent it to him like as a Christmas gift, and the first thing he said was, "Wow, this thing shoots harder than the other ones." I'm like, there you go. That's because I've assembled quite a few and I know what I'm doing. So, or as I like to joke, there's a difference between making something for a profit and making something with passion. And again, I'm not gonna talk too much smack here, but Out of Darts is a business. They are the big name in town. They are definitely the profit generating machine versus me. That I'm not getting rich off my products, guys. My profit margins are so little that yeah, let's just put it that way. I wish I could quit my job and do this full time, but not at the profit margin that I have. So, oh, let me see. You'll need to talk to me about making a musket soon. A musket. Are you talking about the Carney Rex one? Because if you are, yeah, that's fine. I can work with you on that one. Um, Yeah. So for those of you who are wondering regarding muskets, Carney Rex actually did this design for a musket, and that is one that I'd be willing to build because the files do exist out there, and I would literally be making sure that he gets paid his hardware licensing fee through Frontline Foam, and yeah, I know Frontline Foam does not have the best name in the hobby. However, I've done business with Derek Sun and company in the past, especially when it comes to getting certain barrel lengths, custom barrel lengths, and you know what? That's fine. So at least there's that. Regarding Carney Rex, I believe that his designs are that's the only place where you can actually get the hardware kits. So I'm going to assume that he naturally has a licensing deal with Frontline. Um, if someone can correct me, please let me know. Because if not, again, the files do exist and the BOM is already out there. I can just build it myself at that point in time. I just want to do my best to make sure that the actual designer gets their fee. So there you have it. But yeah, so that's pretty much it, guys. Again, I want to keep it short. I have a lot of cleaning up, as you can see. I have a gigantic mess of filaments down here. I need to clean up my workspace. That way, actually, I can record other stuff. So, just saying. Until next time, y'all. Thank you for watching, and we'll look forward for the next live. I'm probably going to be going live here soon, maybe next week. Oddly enough, with something that somebody sent me, talking to you, Bill. We're going to see if we can actually disassemble this and fix it because it's a really cool looking blaster, and I feel like it needs to be resurrected and be made to work. So we'll see what we can do. So there you have it. Thank you all for watching. Until next time, keep on blasting.